So guys, the fabric we're working with is a 6 yard of adire, and I honestly wish I got more, and this is why. We're using a round hip of 47 inch, so it took a lot of the fabric and we're not able to get the full length as full as it was on the thumbnail. So if you want it the way it is on the thumbnail, just get extra. Guys, the first thing is to put the fabric on fold. So the length of this material is 43 inches, and this 43 inches is just full come. I would have loved to use 50, but it's not going to be enough, and it's not enough to join. The breadth, which is the mid shoulder to the ankle, is mid shoulder to ankle is at 3 inches. We're using mid shoulder to ankle because the kimono will be so long from the shoulder to the hands, so we can do the ruche effect with that rope when we pull the ropes that we're going to put at the shoulder lines. What we're about to cut now is the back, so we'll go ahead and cut the neckline. What we're going to do from the edge there, we're going to come in by 3 inches and then come down by 1 inch. Now just draw a curve there. Instead of coming down with 1 inch as shoulder slope at the edge of the sleeve, I decide to leave the slope there so that I can go and match on my machine 1 inch and slant it. As time goes on, I'll show you what I used the extra that I did not cut out at the slope for. My table wasn't wide enough to cut, so I came out the floor. So from these 3 inches, I'm going to mark it there, and then I'm going to just take my tape and then mark down there, and I got 29. The breadth of our front is 29 inches, so I'm going to fold my material again, so it's going to be on fold, and this time around the breadth is going to be 29 inches. And remember, the length is already fixed because we're using the actual follow-come length. So guys, when I opened this adire, it was so squeezed and it was gummy, very gummy, it was touchy, so I had to iron the whole 6 yards. So I'll just advise you, before you use it, just iron it so you can get everything stretched out. When I was done marking, I went ahead to cut out the 29 inch I have marked. So I brought back the back, and then I'm going to place the front just the way it's going to be when we are sewing it, and I'll go ahead and join the shoulder. I remember we're joining it in a slope, so we're going to slope down to 1 inch at the end, just as a normal slope. We're going ahead to drop the palazzo pant. So I've marked ½ inch up on a straight line. That ½ inch I minus the hem line of the material. So now this is not going to give me the long full palazzo length that I like, because the fabric length is 42. But from now, whatever measurement I'm taking it down from that line, and my band is 1.5, so I'm going to leave out 1.5 up, and then I'll come down. My hip line is 9 inches because of the fullness of the hip. But if the hip is not so full, just a little bit, maybe 35 and 30 something, you can use 8 inches. So remember, I came down 1.5 inch before marking because my band is 1.5 inch. I'm also marking the crouch line of 11.5. Thank you so much for coming this far. Please, if you do like this video, like, share, subscribe to help the algorithm know you do like this video and you love to see more of it. So I'm going to just connect all these lines together. To mark my tie line, I'm going to come down from my crouch by 3 inches. 3 inches below your crouch is your tie line. So I'm going to just go and also connect this line. I'll go ahead and label my hip line, my crouch line, and my tie line. On my hip line, I'm going to mark my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch. On my crouch line, I'm going to mark my crouch extension plus my hip measurement divided by 4. The hip, and I used my ruler to connect it. From that line I drew, I'm going to come in my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch. and I'm going to use my free hand to connect it to the hip line like that. Then I'm going to extend that line up there to touch the crouch. So I'm going to come down and start marking my waist to new measurement. So I did not take into consideration the 1.5, so I had to come back and remark the measurement. Mind you guys, my crouch extension is 2.9, so I'm just going to go ahead and just confirm my 2.9. So now whatever thing I got at my crouch line, you remember we said crouch extension plus the hip measurement divided by 4. That's what we used there. So I'm going to just come down with that same measurement down. Since it's a palazzo pant, then I'm going to go ahead and mark the midpoint. I'm just marking this midpoint, but I did not make use of it. So because this is not a straight pant, I'm going to come in from there with 1 inch. I'm going to take the same 1 inch on all the lines. And then I'm going to use my ruler to form a curve just like that from that crouch line. This is just to avoid that gathering that used to be at the thigh. From that line that the crouch and that straight line meet at angle 90, I'm coming up with 2 inches, and I'm coming out at that edge, that joining with 1 inch. I'm going to use my curved ruler to connect the lines down to the angle 90, the flat angle 90 line, and to the other straight line, just like that. This place is very, very important. It's important because it determines how balanced your crouch is going to be. You see some people, their crouches are maybe gathering or not sitting well. So I went ahead to cut it out when I was done. And after doing that, I'm going to just go ahead to cut the back. So for the back, the fabric is also on fold, so I was trying to place it on top, but the back is 1 inch longer than the front, so it can't go this way. So I'll just go ahead and flip my fabric to the other direction, which will even consume more fabric, but because it will not go, we'll have to flip it. I went ahead to bring a piece of the front, and I'm just trying to make sure it's aligned properly. The back width is 4.5 inches wider than the front, so I'm going to just use my tape to confirm it. From up there, I'm going to come in by 2 inches from that waistline, and then I'm going to just come out from the other side by 2 inches. This is for the bum to sit properly. On the first line, I came in 2 inches. I'll just go on there and mark 1 inch, and then I'm going to just take my straight ruler and slant it down to the other point. I took 2 inches, just the way I'm doing it. So after that, I'm going to come to the other crouch line there and take 2.5 inch. So you can use 2 inch, you can use 2.5, you can use 2 inch, depending on how big the person is. And now I'm going to go to this other side and mark 2 inches, the other side of the crouch line. And then after doing that, I'm going to just go down subsequently from that place I took 2.5 and just mark 2 inch downwards. So I'm marking 2 inches at that edge. I'll mark another 2 inches, and I'm going to continue marking 2 inches till I get to the bottom. And then I'm going to connect the lines so I just slanted it to the other point. I marked 2.5. So I'm going to extend the crouch line, and then from that crouch line I'll come now 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to flip over my front piece so that I can form my crouch line. So it's going to join that place again now to 1.5 inch, sorry. So now I'll just go ahead from the other side and keep adding 2 inch at the other side. So just pin down your clothes so the fabric doesn't move. So if you notice, the crouch line for the back is barely showing. Now I've taken my curved ruler and I begin to join all these points together at this edge. The back crouch, you have to be careful. If you don't have like a curve ruler that will give you what you want, you can go ahead and use your free hand just as I did. So I'll just go ahead now and start cutting out all the points that I have marked. Thank you so much for coming this far. Please, if you do like this video, like, share, subscribe to help the algorithm know you do like this video and you love to see more of it. I've gone ahead to my machine and I've gone to join this kimono at the shoulder. And I told you I'm going to come down on 1 inch slope. So look at what it looks like when I was done. So this extra, I'm going to just pipe it and use this extra to trap in the ropes that will be at the shoulder. And because the ropes didn't start from the very beginning, I'm going to come in with 8 inch at both sides. After both 8 inches, the other sides of the line, I'm going to go and use the excess fabric there from the 1 inch to pipe that side in a way that it can accommodate a rope. I'm coming out from the arm by 12 inch and I'm coming in by 1 inch, and this 1 inch is going to be my seam allowance. I'm going to also use that seam allowance to trap in the ropes at the bottom there. And this is because this material barely remained. There were a lot of joining and there was barely any pieces. So I would advise you, if you are making this clothes, just be very, very cautious of the way you manage your fabric. The band we're going to be passing around, I'm going to just go ahead with my tape to take the measurement from the end down to the neckline, down to the other end of the front. So when I was done, I just got the full length I needed, and then I now go ahead and show you the band I have already cut. So here is the band. I've already folded it. I've cut it and ironed it neatly and folded it. So this band is 2.5 inches wide and it's long according to the length that we have already measured. So I'm going to go to my machine and fix it like this. So first of all, I'm going to fold it in two and notch the middle and do the same thing for the neckline. So I'm going to, from the midpoint, start joining just the way I'm doing it now. I'm going to place it that way on my machine and I'm going to join it downwards. Sorry, I did not show you every part. So I've gone ahead to fix the band and this is what it looked like. I've also gone ahead to sew down the sides. So I also want to show you the rope channel that I have made and what it looked like. So see the rope channel that I have made from that 8 inch. I hope you can see it clearly. There's a rope channel. Let me turn it to the back so you can see it properly. So this was it looks like. I shortened it in and then matched, so it's big enough to accommodate a 1/2 inch band. So I sewed it from the 8 inches downwards, and I did to the other side as well. So we can easily pass our ropes down from that 8 inches. So we made from this very point, from that 8 inch, that opening hole, we're going to be passing the rope like that inside that place, the both ropes, then downwards. I'm going to bring it. I'm going to show you exactly what to do when I'm done. And now you remember we used 1 inch to sew it down. I told you we're going to also use that one as a channel for our rope. So now at that point that I have sewn, I'm going to notch that point where I started at the armhole so that it can balance when I open it. So yes, I also notched that side. So at the end, I'll just go down to my machine and create a channel. If I had used length 50 as planned for this kimono, I would have gone ahead to mark about 25 for the rope line. Since it's not that long, I'm going to just come up by about 17 inches. You all can come up a bit, but just let it not be too close to the bust. So I think I marked 17 inches, and then I just went ahead to pipe it the way I'm doing now. So the way I'm piping, I'll ensure that there is space for the rope. I'll do the same for the other side as well. For the pants, I've gone ahead to join the front piece to the front piece and the back piece to the back piece using 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I've sewn it down 1/2 inch seam allowance just like this, and I've also gone ahead to open it up and iron it. So this is what it looks like when I was done. So the front fitting front, I'm not going to put any pocket here. In our predicament, this material is not remaining. And this is the back, the same thing. I have gone ahead to join the back, the same thing, and I'm going to be putting a dart at the back. So guys, I've also gone ahead to cut the band of this clothes, and this band is longer, slightly longer, about 4 inches longer than the original size of the waist. The width of this band is 4 inches. When it's unfold, it's 2 inches. Remember, 1.5 inch is the length of the band, plus it's double, so that's 3 inches when it's unfold, then plus ½ inch seam allowance. So guys, I'm going to join the pant. So I'm going to place my front and my back piece together like this. At the crouch side, I did not finish the joining to the end, so I left some spot there, right there. So I'm going to sew it down like that. I'm going to also carry the other end and sew it down. So from the about 1 inch I left there, at that point that I'm holding, I'm going to sew it across when I'm done. At this point, I was done doing the joining, and I've also gone to iron it. So look at it. Look at how I sewed it. I'm going to flap it over to the back so you can see it. So this is the stitching I've stitched down across and down to the crouch area. You'll notice that this is properly ironed and it's aligned. So next, my dart, I've also taken my dart. So I used 4 inches from the crouch down to 6 inches. That's what I did for the both side. So I took 4 by 6 inches dart at the back. Because the back is looking at the front, I tilted the back towards the front a bit and used my iron to iron it down. So if you notice, they're sort of equal. I did that for both sides. To do the side fitting, I'll just go ahead and pin down all the sides so that it can be balanced. Sorry, the entire table is not showing, but for the fitting, just the way we do our normal skirt and gown fitting. So we took a portion of 1.5 from above for the band. So for the hip line, I'm going to just come down 1.5, then I'll mark 9 inches, and then I'll do it on both sides. And then what I'm going to do is to divide my waist measurement by 2, and then I'll mark it, and then ensuring that I remove the equal excesses from the both sides. And then the hip, the same thing. I'll make sure I remove the both equal excesses. So for example, if my waist divided by 2 is 20 and I'm having 22 inches as the full length when I mark the hip, so what I'm going to do in order to do the fitting, I'm going to say 20 minus 22. I'll be 22 minus 20, then that's going to give me 2 inches. So I'm going to now spread this extra on both sides. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm going to take 1, I'll mark 1 at one side, I'll mark 1 at the other side. So when I now put my tape on the places I have marked, it's going to give me 20. From both places will give me 20. So that's how you do your marking. And then the same thing at the waist. Let's go ahead and stitch down this palazzo. So from the waist down to the hip, I'm going to follow the line that I've marked. Then from the hip, I'm going to go down straight. I want the hip line down to be equal. Sorry guys, I forgot. When I was done sewing this palazzo the first time when I joined it, I found the front and the back, the length was not equal, so I used my scissors to blend it in. So in case you do your own and it's not equal, just use your scissors to blend the length in. I am done. I'll just go ahead to put the band. So because the zip is going to be at the side, I'm going to just go ahead and lose one side of the sides that I have already sewn. And then I'll advise you to iron before doing this so you can use that line for your zip allowance. But I lose down one part of the side I'm going to be putting my zip. So from there, I'm going to place my band. Just watch as I'm doing. I started by first putting the right side at the back so that I can tilt it over and top stitch it at the front. While I was done, I'll just flip it over to the front, then use my hand to fold in the edges and then top stitch it neatly and carefully so that it will be very neat down. I also gone ahead to hem the bottom. So since I'm not getting the full length that I wanted, so I'll just be hemming very tiny, just very tiny. That reminds me, I want to say thank you to my lovely 2K family. We just clocked 2K I think this week. I am so happy and I'm excited. Please, if you know you haven't liked, please like, please share and subscribe. If you have any question, please feel free to ask your questions in the comment section. And this video is so long because I decided I would not make a part 2. So sorry for this very long video, but I think it's better than having a part 2. So I'm going to go ahead and take my kimono and make those channels for the rope gently. So remember that it will have like at least a space of ½ inch inside that can accommodate the ropes. Having done that, I'll go ahead and hem the bottom of my kimono and also the sleeves. Thank you once again for coming this far. I don't think you're coming here for granted. I am excited to have you. Remember to like, please share, please comment. Even if it's a shit emoji, please put something. If it's a thumbs up, put something. If it's a question, put something. Thank you for coming this far. If you know you have come this far, just type I came this far. And I love you guys. You guys are the best. I'm glad to have you guys in my space. Guys, I want to hammer this one last time. If you're not going to use a fabric that's up to 60 inches long, probably 45 inches or 42, please buy more than 6 yards. Buy at least 7 to 8 yards of it. If it's remaining, just keep it so that you can have the length if you want the length to be that long. And I cannot explain to you how much I joined. See all these ropes now that we made. It was serious joining. No pieces was spared. So now I'll just go ahead and show you how I fixed the rope. Guys, I was too ashamed to show you how I was shamefully joining these ropes. So but this is how it was. I had a band of about 1.5 inch. Then I folded it in like that and then I matched it. So when I was done with them, this is what they looked like. Note that I've gone ahead to tie all the edges of this one. So I'm going to pick my safety pin like this and tack it to the top of one, the place I didn't tie. Then I'll come to these places that I have sewn. You know, I've hemmed the sleeve already. So on this hem of the sleeve, I'm going to come and pinch this fabric. I'm going to try to open it up so that I can differentiate the lining from the main material. So when I drag like that, I can differentiate. Then I will take my scissors and cut it just small, because you know you're pinching it. So when you drag it, if you cut it so big, it will be too wide. So the next thing I'm going to do is to pass it through the holes that I have made. This is at the sleeve. So I'm passing this rope down to the hole that I made close to the hem of the sleeve. So now I'm going to pass this rope, and then when I get to the other end, I'll show you. I'm getting to that 8 inches that I marked, so I'm going to flip it over and show you how it's coming out. So now it has come out. I'm dragging it out from that place. You know, yes, that space there, my rope. It was proving difficult, but when I was done, I tied it so that it doesn't come out. And I'll go and fix the other rope. And then when I was totally done, I'll now go and lose what I have tied and make sure I top stitch that place multiple times so that the ropes don't come out from the end there. So you just continue to do this, and you do the same thing also at the side rope channels. Thank you for coming this far. Thank you for watching this video. God bless you. Have a lovely week ahead, and see you in our next video. Bye bye.